What if lack was a really, really good thing? Let's talk about it. A couple years ago, I've been studying all the things in my life that aren't going that well, or from my perception of that they're not going that well. And I really wanted to talk about one today that really, really hit home lately. Lack and abundance. So a couple years ago, I went up to the Canadian Art of Living Center, and when I really want a profound question answered, I go up and I go all the way to Quebec and I ask Sri Sri Ravi Shankar a question. So there's a couple hundred people gathered, and I was like, I was trying to be really clever, and I was like, so how come in the world there's people that have economic abundance and there's people that have they don't have economic abundance, and some countries are so full of resources and others aren't? Why is that? And he looked at me. It was so funny. He was like, we were asking me, why are some people rich and some people poor? And I was like, yeah. And he said, when you focus on lack grows. And when you focus on abundance grows. I thought that meant, okay, I only focus on abundance. So abundance. And then as the years passed, this was a couple of years ago I asked this question. I would think about it all the time and write it down. Focus on lack grows. Focus on abundance grows. And then over Christmas, I was thinking, I'm so happy in some of the areas I lack. I'm happy that I lack anger now. I'm so happy that I lack in addiction. I'm so happy that I lack in judgments. I'm so happy that I lack in thinking I know everything, being a know-it-all. Like, that's how I used to run my life. And I realized, like, lack's awesome sometimes. And that's what I really wanted to share in the video this week. It's kind of a fun one. It's kind of like a twist. So great question for you is, like, where would you like to have lack in your life? Would you like to have lack of anger, lack of frustration, lack of bad night sleeps, lots of places. So we know we want an abundance of patience, kindness, and love. We want to have great night sleeps. We want to have love. Of course we want those things. We want to focus on that. And again, like my father's taught me, and I'm learning, later in life, positive mental attitude. And again, like I said last week, this isn't Pollyanna. This is not a Pollyanna situation. So of course we want an abundance of things. And sometimes it's nice to look at what's lacking in our life when those things have gone away. And it's like a new way to celebrate. So over Christmas, I'm like, wow, like I was a situation that came up, and in the past I would have had an abundance of anger, an abundance of judgments, and an abundance of frustrations. And I had lack of all those things. So that was amazing. And I had an abundance of introspection. I had an abundance of life lived that I could look at situations. And, this past weekend, I spent time with my dad, my little brother, my older brother, and we have such a fun time together. Now, it was a little silly. There was a lot of teasing, but no anger, no frustration, no yelling, nothing, lots of teasing. And it's so fun. And that, I think, is like the best thing in my life right now, those relationships. It's so fun. But I did all the work. I used to, be in turmoil with most of them. And I'm so happy that we can just kind of get together, have fun, have a laugh. And then when these other situations come, I can look and be like, oh, okay, where have I had an abundance of success with this? Great. But before I had a lack of success. So I don't want the lack of success with those personal relationships. And then, of course, I keep looking and growing and learning. And this is not like a one stop and then it's done. This is a continuous, it goes and goes and goes, and learning, which is awesome and frustrating. And I just love to talk in these videos about honesty. And just this week, it's just a fun one. Have a look at lack and abundance in your life. Where do you have lack? Where are you so happy you have lack? And where do you have abundance? And where can you focus on the abundance and let that grow? And where can you focus on the lack and let that grow? Because I'm so happy I have a lack of anger, a lack of fights, a lack of judgments. And I have abundance of inquisitiveness. I have an abundance of friendships. I have abundance of love in my life. And this I'd like more of, and I'd like to keep these lacking. And this was such a fun thing to think about. And I really wanted to record on this week because I think it's fun to think about, like, where do I have lack and where am I so happy? Isn't that cool? Such a cool concept. And you can check out the video from last week about get out of the muck, stop healing, and just heal. We're not going to be in the loop of healing. So check that out. It's a good video. And then just kind of have fun with this. Play with this one. Like, where do you have lack? Where are you so happy you have lack? And where do you have abundance? And where are you so happy? And then, of course, you can look, where would you like to have like more lack of things, like frustrations and bad night sleeps and fighting and turmoil in family? And where do you want more of abundance? But where in your life do you have lack? And where are you so excited about that? And like celebrate that. Oh, I have a lack of this. Lack of parking tickets, lack of speeding tickets, lack of this, whatever it is. So just have fun with it, have play with it. I thought it was really fun to talk about. I have a little bit of a laugh. Just where do I have lack and why is that awesome? Thanks so much, everybody, for all the support. It's amazing. Have a great one.